Hello, Life is Good Chiropractic crew, Dr. Bryn here. Cindy got us started on a 30-day ab challenge, or actually a 30-day sit-up challenge. So I wanted to quick jump in and go over some really basic and important things to make those sit-ups not only super effective for you when you're joining this challenge, but also to make sure that they're not hurting your spine, because I kind of really like your spines. So I have a quick little 6-step things that I want to go over with you to make sure you're doing the sit-up really well. And then we're going to go into a couple of modifications to make it easier or harder, either which way, okay? So, number one, when it comes to doing sit-ups, I want to make sure that when you're laying on your back, my coach always calls this the blueberry spine, meaning this part of your back here, that part underneath where normally your back arches up. I don't know if you can see that, it's always hard to tell. But when you're laying here, normally there is an arch in here, there is a gap, okay? We want to always close that gap. We don't want to completely push our backs down, but we want to engage our core. I mean, this is what this is all about, working on our abs. But we want to engage our core. So imagine there's a small little blueberry laying under the middle of your back here, your lower back, and you're gently trying to push that blueberry down. You don't want to squish it, but you want to definitely hold that blueberry in place. That's what I mean by blueberry spine. And I don't know if you can see, but it's a little tilt of the pelvis that creates that, and by engaging the core to hold the lower back down. All right, so that's step number one. Step number two, obviously you can do sit-ups with just your feet flat on the floor. But the problem is we often then start, that our feet come off of the ground, or that we focus too much on our legs with that. So a better way of doing that is by securing your toes. I have my toes secured here under some weights that I know are strong enough to hold my feet down. But you can obviously tuck them under a couch or a different chair or something like that as well, a piece of furniture. So this way you're taking your legs out of the equation if your feet are solid on the floor. That's step number two. Step number three is really important in the sense that I am sure you have seen people, you might have done it yourself too, when they come up for a sit-up, that they swing their arms forward and they come with a lot of oomph upwards, okay? That's not a good sit-up, and that can really hurt your spine too. Number one, you don't want to have your arms flinging forward. You don't want to have any of the power from the sit-up come from your arms or your shoulder. This is all supposed to just come from your abs, okay? Number two, it pulls on the neck. It is not good for your neck with that. So make sure when you're coming up, your feet are staying stable, your legs are stable, and your upper body stays really stable too. So you come up slowly like this. Do you see how my upper body stays completely straight? Everything in my upper body is staying in one line. That's how I know that only my abs are engaged and not my arms or shoulders like that, okay? So please keep that up. Another option for this is to have your hands crossed here. When you have your arms over here, you're building more resistance. You're making it harder on yourself. And if that's what you're looking for with this workout, please have your hands here, gently supporting, gently holding your head, but not pulling on your head. But you can also do this on here and make the resistance a little bit less, especially at the end of the month when we're getting to our 140 sit-ups in a day, okay? So that was the third spot. The fourth one is my absolute favorite because I only recently learned this, but it makes so much sense. When you're doing a sit-up, you want to exhale when you're coming up. Because when you exhale, even if you're just sitting there right now watching this video, when you exhale, put your hand on your stomach. By exhaling deeply and strongly, you'll already engage your core. And this really makes this exercise so much more effective without having to do anything harder. So when you come up, you go you can exhale loudly, you can exhale strongly. The stronger you exhale, the more benefit you get from this workout. Isn't that awesome? So you inhale on the way back down and a strong exhale on the way up with each and every sit-up. Get used to it from day 1. By day 30, you're going to be doing this automatically, not even thinking about it. And then the last 2 things are pretty much making sure you get the most out of this exercise by not resting on top, because once you get here, any further forward lean is actually a rest to your body because you're not engaging your abs anymore. So when you get here, don't come too much forward and rest. Kind of stay at a spot about here when your abs are really still engaged. And when you're at the bottom, the same thing. When you completely relax your body here, your abs are not engaged anymore. So make sure you keep holding that tension in your core when you're down, when you're up, and not letting it relax in between. But that also means if you need a modifier, if you need a rest in between, I don't want you hurting yourself with this, especially when we are getting to doing a lot more reps, then do use these things and rest either at the top or at the bottom a little bit if you need to make it easier on yourself, okay? Listen to your body, that is key. Now, those are the 6 steps. Blueberry spine, keeping your lower back engaged. Having your feet secured, keeping your upper body straight, exhaling, and then not resting at the top and not resting at the bottom, okay? Now, there are obviously other variations as well that you can use. For example, if you cannot come all the way up for a sit-up, that's okay. You can still really engage your abdominal muscles by just coming up with your shoulders, okay? You can just come up like this. You know, just by lifting your shoulders off the floor. If you put your hands right here, you will feel those muscles engage, okay? So, just a shoulder lift also works. It will engage the same muscles. And then if you want to make sure, and you know, there's so many different ways of doing sit-ups. That's why I'm posting a video, also a separate video link with 50 different versions of crazy versions of doing sit-ups. I'm not going to all demonstrate them because I can't do them all anyways. But what I want you to also work on, if you wanted to add that to it, is not just doing a straight sit-up if you're doing it in this version, but doing a side to side, a knee to elbow sit-up, because that engages your oblique muscles better. Okay, so we have the rectus abdominis. Those get engaged when you're doing the straight shoulder lift. And then you have the obliques that engage when you do the side to side. For the lower abdominal muscles, if you want to engage those more, or if you need an alternate when you're getting to too many sit-ups here, you can also do the reverse of a sit-up and bring your knees up. Okay, that engages the lower abdominals more. And here again, check in with your blueberry spine first, that you know you're keeping your lower back tucked to the ground. If you can keep your lower back tucked to the ground, you can take your legs out further, okay? But if you're here and you feel your back pop up, okay, I don't know if you can see that, if you feel your back pop up here, then this is not a good exercise for you. That means your back is not strong enough, your abs are not strong enough for that yet. So only do that if you can keep your lower back tucked down, if you can keep that blueberry spine. That's when you can go down and come back up, okay? Otherwise, keep your knees bent or don't stick them out quite as far to work on that. All right, last but not least, here's another option to be even more spine friendly. If you have one of those exercise balls, this is a beautiful way of working on abs as well, without having to be on the ground and without having to put all that stress on your back. Same thing, you roll down. The further down you roll on the ball, the higher you have it up on your back, the easier you're making it on yourself, okay? So if you have this and you want to start with a really easy sit-up, you can be pretty high up and just do this motion, okay? Same things apply with keeping your upper back straight, that you're not pulling on your arms, okay? But just using this also engages the rectus abdominis muscles really nicely and can count as a sit-up. If you want to get harder, you go up further and you do them here. So that is a very spine-friendly way of doing sit-ups. All right, everybody. I hope these tips help to get you through the 30 days of our sit-up challenge really good and strong and healthy without hurting yourself and making the most out of these exercises. I am posting a link to 50 variations of sit-ups if you're getting bored with the same straight sit-up, just coming straight up. There's many different ways we can work on our abs if you want to make it more fun and interesting. And I look forward to your check-ins. I know Cindy is going to post every day in our group page, so look for her posts and check in and let us know how you're doing and how you're getting on with getting from 20 sit-ups in the beginning to 140 sit-ups by the end of this month. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.